yards and a half. We had a big scramble, a big completion at the end. We had three and outs at that point, but we have to get better defensively on especially on our deep ball security. That's been our Achilles, and we have to find ways where we can defend that, either by we're going to have to start blitzing more, or we're having trouble Saturday getting four-man pressure, and you can't leave great quarterbacks back there and extend the secondary the way we are. So, we're looking at what we have to do there. Got a great coaches on defense. I'm confident that we'll get that done. Dylan Clare up front played really well for us. Jalen Fenner had a lot of tackles on there, and the best thing defensively is they're still together. They're still playing hard. They know there's a lot of wins in this football team. Offensively, I think we've got to start today with what Dreyfus did for us. He scored on 5 of the 6 drives he was in. He scored touchdowns. And you want to talk about a gutsy young man. He had 51 snaps for 336 total yards. So his shoulder was out. I really was just amazed at halftime when our medical team said that he could go back in. Really, I think that inspired this whole football team to see how what he was willing to do to try to win this game. I think it inspired us, even offensively and defensively, and he gave us a chance. Our offensive line, 3 games in a row, has just been played lights out. Couldn't be prouder of the offensive line. Just with the effort, their communication skills up there. And, we've had some guys really step up. When Jordan Taylor went down, you look at what Zach Wright's done, filling in for Jordan Taylor. Zach had 6 catches on the day. He had another big game against A&M, so really pleased with Zach. He's here today. And you look at he stepped up. You look at Juwan Davis with 150 yards. Derek Dillard rushing for 3 touchdowns. A lot of, Derek, he just runs so hard and hits that hole, so fast. And Juwan, it's just 2 different styles of runs that we get coming out of him. Really pleased with what we're doing offensively. Special teams, we've got to secure up that, we had another punt that we got it down, we flipped the field on us, we got a missed tackle on that, and our field goals were 2 of 6 on the season, and we've got to get that better. But, there's a lot of wins in this football team. We have a competent football team. They know we're talented. I think we're going to we'll find out today if Jordan Taylor may come back limited. We'll find out on Christian Covington and Julius White today. Radcliffe and Destry White. We'll find out on those guys today, too. So hopefully we'll get some guys back. That's got to be next man up. That's why we have a squad like this, and it's up to coaches to figure out a game plan and getting it done. But I am proud of this football team, and we're going to keep working hard.
So Dreyfus is not an injury concern for next week. He's all set to go.
He's good to go. He's sore, but he's good to go.
You kind of had an idea what you're going to get from Dreyfus coming into the season, but I think you were talking about it Saturday. There was no panic in him. You just seemed to have a calmness about him on the team. With that level of maturity from him, were you expecting that this season, or has he surprised you with what he did?
Yeah, he's exceeded. We knew he was good, but he has exceeded expectations, and I think it's because he's a true student of the game. When you study football the way he studies it, there's never a situation too big for you. And I think every week from the Notre Dame game to the Old Dominion game, he has improved. He was in yesterday looking at video, but he's sore, but he's good to go.
You mentioned how he inspires the team, but what did you have to say to the guys to get them going?
Well, we just talked about what we needed to do in the second half, but a lot of us saw Dreyfus on the sideline with that left shoulder injury, and we're just amazed when he walked in there before we took the field at halftime that he'd been cleared to go. That's really, when you see people willing to sacrifice and to play with some pain for your team, it's an inspirational moment in a locker room when your leader rounds the corner and says he's good to go.
favorite for even for not going to medical school, but Dreyfus, when he goes in and has, I mean, what's the process that can, I know it's not his throwing arm, but to even get him back out there and even be ready for this week? I mean, they have to do anything? I mean,
All
what
I
do
can tell you is when I saw they yanked it, and they said it was in. I thought, okay, good. I don't know the medical term for that, but, you know, it just shows you how tough a kid is and how much he loves his football team.
But the fact that it's his non-throwing, I mean...
Right, if that had been stolen, we could have done it.
Can you speak to being down 28-14 at the half, and then yank the shoulder, and then you come back out third quarter, and your team proceeds to put points on the board and come back out?
Well, you know, that's where you saw there was no quit in them. They just always believed that we could, that even when ODU got the lead, they didn't think it was insurmountable. You know, that was one where we just, you know, offensively kept making plays, and defense started getting some stops in the second half, and we were back in it. You know, I think, you know, when you lose to Notre Dame, you lose to A&M, you lose to Old Dominion, it hurts, it bothers you. And, you know, we're a bothered football team right now that's hungry for a win. But I know, based on the effort, that's what we're going to get from these guys in 8 out of a week.
It seemed like, you know, you guys saw something, you know, Old Dominion's defense. They didn't stop running the ball in the second half. You know, what did you see and why did it work so well?
You know, a lot of that, I think, is just the tempo of our offense was maintaining, and we were fatiguing them. I think we're just, Kevin Yostel's done a good job having us in shape. I think it was the heat, you know, was playing a role in that, where, you know, it's something we're acclimatized to, and I think, you know, it's hard coming from Virginia to play in that heat. But, you know, even the first half, I was very proud of Tyler Staling now, too, when he come in and got his first extended play as a quarterback. You know, he moved the ball. He was 7 of 12 throwing. He's a guy that's going to have a bright future. Dreyfus is just such a difference maker for us at that position. When, you know, we just feel, and when he's in, we're in every ball game.
Dave, you had mentioned Zach, but the, you know, coming out of the spring and some guys that you expected to, where was he on the radar going into camp before Jordan was in?
Well, Zach, I mean, he was his backup, and he's a very athletic young man. You know, he walked on the team, earned a scholarship pretty fast. You know, so he's a playmaker. He's one who's just taking advantage of his playing time. And when Jordan does come back, we've got to find a place to put him on the field.
Are you a big believer that, you know, when a guy does something like that, I mean, they earn the play?
Absolutely. He's getting more playing time when Jordan's back. You know, he's making big-time plays for us. He'll continue to do that. He's taken the best advantage of the opportunity he was given. And not only is he catching the ball well, he's blocking down the field well. You know, and that's not, and I'm still pleased with how Dennis Parks is playing and Mario Holt. But Zach is just, from a consistent standpoint and effort, he's somebody that when Jordan does come back, we're going to find a place to get him more reps.
Is Destry having to go through the protocol?
Destry's going through the 5-day protocol. He and James Wright took both.
And you had looked at just how decimated you were on defense. This week, do you have to devote a little bit more time to the second wave and the third wave, just because, you know, you don't know what you're...
You know, that's part of football. You don't win with a healthy football team. You don't. And you got to have guys step up. And that's what we need. And ultimately, though, I got to do a better job as a coach when that happens. And we have to do a better job as a coaching staff of putting these young men in a position where they can be successful. That's our job, is to come up with a game plan. You know, we know what their strengths and what their weaknesses are. Sometimes you got to try to protect them, and that's, Joseph, we have to do a better job, you know, there. That's, you know, how I started this. Can't do what we've always done. We're going to have to, as great a job as Chris Thurman and his staff has done, we have to look at some of the things we're doing and see if that's matching what we have right now.
Coach, you talked a little about Southern Miss and what you know about them going into this game.
Yeah, I tell you, Coach Monken I've known him a long time. He is as good a football coach as there is in the country. They have beat Alcorn. They've just beat Appalachian State at home last week. They got beat by Mississippi State and Alabama. But they are they're solid this year. They're playing hard. The last time we played them here, they made a lot of mistakes, and he's really got those mistakes worked out, and they're improving every time they hit the field. They're very big, athletic. He runs the spread offense up tempo, and he knows what he's doing.
Steve, what challenges do you see on going on the road after?
Well, we've already gone on, the Notre Dame and A&M, so we're pretty. We need to go on the road and we need to get a win. It's time to get a win, and I think this football team will be hungry for that. The NCAA, we give them Sunday off. It's an academic recovery day, so we will really go hard today on Southern Miss with them. We'll be out on the field at 3 o'clock working on some of the situations that we have to get better at to go on the road and win.
David, the first 3 games you had run the Wild Owls once or twice. With Connor being back, it allows you to use Bob more. Moving forward, how much is that still?
That's always going to be part of our offense. And, that's another one, Luke Turner, when we did use it. We got Connor Sell back, which was good news, and he was limited to, we were supposed to keep him right around mid-20 plays, which we did, and he's passed. So Connor's completely cleared now to play. And that's good news for us. He's really a physical blocker at the point of attack, and he catches the ball well, so that's good for us. But you will see that package continue to grow.
You talked about Dillard so much since he's been here, but that game right there, just kind of, in the second half alone, does that just kind of show the explosive, the difference? He and Jawan are kind of 2 different styles, but what he can do when he gets the ball in that explosiveness.
He is the most coachable young man. From ball security to how you have to ride the offensive line. I mean, whatever he's coached to do, he does, and he does it 100%. And when he hits the hole, he's going at full speed. He's not worried. He trusts his teammates up there, Joseph, and he's not worried. When we run the power or the trap with him, he's going. He's not worried about taking a hit. And he's learned, too, how to really leverage his pads, where he's creating a lot of force at contact now. Jawan, he makes people miss, and a lot of Jawan's yards are yards after contact. I've got them keeping that chart right now. They haven't given that to me, but you're going to see a lot of Jawan's yardage was post-contact.
And Mr. Bull has a note that, just looking at the history, Jared and Derek touchdown combined. I know Jared takes a lot of the touchdowns for now, but they're second right now among brothers in NCAA behind the Rogers brothers from Oregon State. But that's just, you have the history, and you coach both of them, just to be able to see what that family
does. Quality young men. They're just such great fits at this university. And Derek, he's one of those guys. He's a lot like his brother. Derek's one that stays out every day after practice and works on the little things, and that's exactly what Jared and Chase did on their own. And Derek possesses those same qualities, and he's a very talented young man.